So, how do you take a creative spark, just an idea, and actually engineer it into a real, scalable media company in just 1 year? Well, this is the inside story of that transformation. It's the blueprint, and it all kicked off with one very clear intention. Every great project really starts with a why. For Calgary Living, that why was put on paper from day one. And this wasn't just some nice sounding quote. Think of it as the first line of code for the entire operation. It grounded every single decision that followed in a very human-centered vision. We're going to walk through this journey in four main acts. First, building what we call the Founder's OS. Then, the grind of outreach to breakout. After that, creating systems for scale. And finally, laying out the vision for a digital square. Okay, let's dive into part one, the Founder's operating system. The whole mission in the first quarter was to turn a creative social media page into a disciplined, well-oiled engine before even thinking about hitting the gas. The switch literally flipped on New Year's Day. That first newsletter wasn't just an email. It was a public commitment to a new way of operating. We brought in systems like the 12-week year to bring this intense focus, and the 3-task rule to build momentum day in and day out without fail. And this wasn't just theory. Ideas immediately became actions. Vague goals turned into real, tangible outcomes. Things like service packages became an actual pricing model. Researching competitors gave us clear benchmarks to aim for. This was never about just passion. It was about building a solid, data-driven foundation right from the very first week. And the whole thing was powered by a really specific mindset. See, minimalism wasn't about being cheap. It was about extending our runway, buying us more time. AI wasn't a gimmick, it was serious leverage. The focus was always on consistent daily action, not chasing some impossible idea of perfection. And we were building a community, not just collecting a passive audience. This really became the mantra for those first 90 days. I mean, trying to build a startup while juggling a full-time job and university, that creates some serious constraints. But here's the thing, those constraints weren't obstacles. They were actually tools that forced us to be crystal clear about our priorities. And that clarity is what built the momentum we desperately needed for what was coming next. All right, part two, from outreach to breakout. So the engine's built. Now it's time to take it out on the road and see what it can do. This next phase was all about rejection, taking a huge risk, and eventually having a breakthrough. The first tests were humbling, to say the least. Reaching out to the big city institutions just got us a lot of polite no's. But you know what? That wasn't failure, it was crucial market feedback. It showed us the hurdles that independent creators face and proved that we were going to have to earn our credibility from the ground up, one person at a time. And then came the point of no return. June 5th, this safety net was gone. Quitting a full-time job wasn't just about freeing up time. It was a deep psychological commitment. This was the all-in moment that focused every ounce of energy on the mission and really set the stage for the most intense chapter of the year. And all that intensity was channeled into one single make-or-break event, the Calgary Stampede. The plan was simple, but crazy. A 10-day content blitz. The goal was to go beyond the fireworks and carnival rides and actually capture the human stories at the heart of the city's most famous festival. This was it. This was our shot to prove our value. And the results were just explosive. I mean, look at this growth. We started with 75 followers on July 1st. By the 18th, we'd cleared 1,000. Just 4 days after that, we blew past 2,000. The Stampede campaign went viral and our visibility just skyrocketed. This was the proof of concept we needed, and it didn't come from an institution. It came directly from the community. Okay, but here's the most critical part. What happened after the numbers went crazy? This reflection marks a massive shift in identity. See, going viral was never the goal. It was the validation. The project had officially outgrown being a solo gig. It was now painfully obvious that the future was about building a real scalable media company, and that was going to require a team. That brings us to part three, systems for scale. Because a viral moment is totally useless if you don't have a plan for what comes next. This whole phase was about taking that success and institutionalizing it, building the systems to capture, sustain, and actually grow that new momentum. This was the real pivot, from being a creator to becoming an architect. Spontaneous, ad hoc content was replaced by strategic research playbooks. Grinding out manual outreach emails evolved into a scalable referral system. And launching the Shopify store started turning this passion project into a structured, revenue-generating startup. And out of that pivot, a really clear three-pillar business model started to take shape. First, content enhancement. That's the core storytelling and creative services. Second, e-commerce, which created a direct way to generate revenue. And third, app development, the long-term vision for a truly scalable tech platform. So to really fast-track this vision, the next move was joining the University of Calgary's Launchpad program. This was about more than just mentorship. It was a strategic move to integrate ourselves into the city's formal startup ecosystem, to build the network and gain the kind of credibility you need to truly scale. And this move was really driven by a new philosophy. The city is already overflowing with incredible talent, amazing stories. There's an abundance of it. The real problem isn't a lack of creation. The problem is distribution. How do you connect all that amazing talent to real opportunity? That became the central question we needed to solve. And that leads us right into part 4, designing a digital square. This is where all the pieces, the systems, the network, the mission, finally come together to build a vision that's so much bigger than just a media brand. So the guiding question became this: how do you take all the stories, all the creators, all the small businesses that make up the soul of a city and build a digital public square where they can all connect, collaborate, and actually thrive together? The answer is the City.Living app. This is really the culmination of the entire year's journey. It's not just another social media app. The idea is a civic creator ecosystem, a platform specifically designed to finally solve that distribution problem by giving the tools, the opportunities, and the visibility to every storyteller in the city. This personal note from the founder, I think it really captures the relentless drive behind it all. It's that feeling every founder gets, right? That urgency, that need to grab hold of the technology of our time and use it to make a real, tangible impact. And so the journey continues, all of it guided by one simple, clear mission: to make Calgary seen, heard, and remembered. From a solo creator to a scalable system, this one-year blueprint really shows what's possible when disciplined action meets a powerful vision. So the question is, what stories in your city are just waiting to be told?